Oh shit, we got another giveaway for you guys. This time, our newest sponsor, SpicesPros.com, has provided us with not just one, but two copies of Madden 18. So here is how you enter. First, make sure to subscribe to the channel at CrossbonesMMA.com. Make sure to like this video and leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends, that way they can get on the action as well. Now on August 25th, we will announce the two winners of the giveaway on a special live edition of Keyboard Warriors, where we're going to break down and talk about and go through all the storylines of Mayweather versus McGregor the night before the fight. If you're one of the winners, we will contact you on Twitter through DM, so make sure in that comment section you leave your Twitter handle just in case you're one of the winners. A huge thank you to our listeners, our viewers, our followers, and our friends, and thank you so very much for supporting CrossbonesMMA.com.
But now we can just go ahead and segue into the Tony Ferguson Kevin Lee fight. I don't know exactly what to fucking expect from Kevin Lee yet. We know he's a beast, but his best win is against Chiesa.
That's the thing.
Who's not a very great striker, and that win was fucking weirdy-beardy and questionable. So I'm still on the fence again about Kevin Lee. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say that Kevin Lee can do his thing and he's able to actually get Tony Ferguson down and submit him in, the first or second round, have a dominant performance. I think that changes things a lot, and then that becomes maybe a very dangerous fight for Conor, possibly even more dangerous than the Khabib fight, depending on how Kevin Lee looks against fucking Tony Ferguson. If he comes in and just takes him right down, sweeps him, and gets a sub, it'll be eye-opening. With Tony Ferguson, you know what you're getting. Yeah, sure, he's a crafty striker. He's cute. He can take a good shot. But I could just see Conor picking him the fuck apart. And listen, one thing about Conor, who takes his shots in those 4-ounce gloves? If he, Tony got wobbled by, who was it? Lando Venata?
Yeah, Venata.
You got to imagine if Conor gets that, he finishes that job. He's too powerful and he's too pinpoint accurate with those little gloves. So, but that fight itself between Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson is very interesting. It'll be very telling too. With Kevin Lee, I'm not completely sold yet. Obviously, he has the ability to beat Tony Ferguson, but this will be his coming out party. If he can beat Tony Ferguson, then we find out how legit Kevin Lee actually is. Right now, he's just a super hype prospect. But as we all know, fucking hype prospects can get on the shitter real fucking quick. And like I said, his biggest win to date, is Michael Chiesa, which is a good win. But, he's no fucking Eddie Alvarez or, Anthony Pettis even, per se. What the fuck? Like, it's not the hugest of names.
Yeah, and Kevin Lee's on a 5-fight win streak. So it's Fernando Escudero, Jake Matthews, Magomed Mustafayev, Francisco Trinaldo, and then Michael Chiesa one. So, yeah, Michael Chiesa is the biggest win he's got so far. That's why I thought it was really going to get this fight, to be honest with you. But then again, it's like I'm trying to figure out who else you would throw in there with Tony Ferguson that's, like, hot right now. And, Kevin Lee.
That list kind of scares me, to be honest with you, man. I'm not a big Tony Ferguson fan, but it seems like Tony's going to be the best striker he's fought by a country mile.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We'll see how he deals with that.
Jesse, who are you picking on that one?
Man, it's a tough fight. I agree with you guys. Honestly, I think some of the wins that Kevin Lee has are just kind of weird, right? He beat Trinaldo, Magomed. He beat Efrain Escudero by decision. A guy that, what's he doing now? He basically made his own promotion and, is kind of doing his own thing somewhere, in Arizona or wherever he lives. He should have won that fight outright. There are certain fights on his record that he shouldn't have gone to a decision. The John Tuck fight, there are some guys on his record that are just not on his level where he assumes to be, right? If he wants this title shot. But yet, what he did to Chiesa was pretty impressive, right? So I don't know. I'm going to go with Ferguson just for the fact that Ferguson has had more of the high-level fights. And again, he also has this weird ability to survive a lot of the damaging shots, right? With that Lando Venata, he was able to survive that and still, come back and do what he had to do. And if you look at what Kevin Lee likes to do, he likes to take people to the ground, look for submission. If he tries to do that with Tony Ferguson, I think he might be in a world of trouble there. He's a little confident after taking down Michael Chiesa and taking that choke from him, but I think this is a much more interesting fight. But I think Ferguson is probably the one to take this fight. I don't think Kevin Lee is ready yet.
I'm with you. And then Nick Redondo says, my boy Nick Redondo says, El Cucuy runs through Lee. He thinks Ferguson's going to take Lee out. So, possible, man. I would pick Lee in that one. Just because every time I pick against this motherfucker, he wins. Okay, I thought Chiesa was gonna choke him out. I think it was gonna be the other way around. That's his gut feeling though. If I go with my head, Ferguson should be able to smoke him, really. But I don't know. Gunda says I don't know Jesse or Jesse however you spell it, but dude knows his shit. So you got some big ups there, Jesse. And
yeah, sometimes.
All right, so let's talk about the guy that nobody talked about, but that shouldn't be in this fight. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Dana White says he has surgery, he's not ready. There's people on the other side of that believe that this is a negotiation tactic. He wants to make Khabib beg for the fight. What do you think about that there, Kirby?
I don't know if he wants Khabib to beg for the fight. I think if Khabib could take the fight, he'd make the fucking fight. It would make more money. We'd all be more stoked to see it, even if we did get fucked out of it a couple times. Like, make no mistake about it. If this was Khabib Tony instead of fucking Kevin Lee Tony, we'd all be a lot more excited. We'd all be willing to spend more money. And at the end of the day, that's all Dana White really gives a shit about is selling fights and making money. I think because Dana White lies to us as fans, we get very butthurt about it, and people think he's like the boogeyman. Hey, believe me, if he can make that fight, I imagine he would, because that's the fight we want to pay money to see. It's just that simple.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let's talk about actually Jesse Khabib. Do you think that maybe I don't know, is it that the UFC doesn't trust him? You know what I mean? They're giving him big fights and he just doesn't make weight, or he gets sick, or eats too much tiramisu, whatever the fuck the joke is at this point. But you think it's a lack of trust?
I don't think so, man, because if they still gave John Jones that headliner spot, knowing full well that, he could have gone crazy with the hookers and blow the night before or something, or a week before. I think that's more of a keeping the fighters under Dana White's thumb. I think that's his tactic. We've always talked about how back in the day, it was kind of like a boys club, right? Like they ran it, you either did it their way or you're out the door, you're not getting fights for a while. It was just like these weird tactics that they would use. And I think we're still seeing these kind of tactics kind of trying to be used, but I don't think they're working anymore. I agree with Fred. I think it's just a point of like they wanted to make this fight. I think they even talked about it right before that. They were just going to book the rematch, finally get it done. Let's see this fight happen. And I think it's just a case of it's not, Khabib can't just make the walk. So instead of booking the fight and then, having that whole thing fall apart again, I think they just went, you know what, take your time, come back when you're ready. We'll have it, we'll have that fight if it comes down to it. So it's a good thing because think about this though, too. How many people actually would think that fight would go down if it was booked? How many of us would come on or go on Twitter or something and go, yeah, this fight ain't happening. Why'd they book this fight again?
Mm-hmm.
This what time that they booked it? We're not going to see it, blah, blah. They would already talk it down, So it's like to avoid all that stuff, we're just moving on, starting fresh. And, whatever happens in that fight, maybe Khabib will get the winner of that. Let's get that.
People really are cunts, aren't they? Because I tell you what, you're right about that. But there's no real reason to do that. Listen, John Jones just fought DC. People were saying the same thing, but they made the walk and they got it on. Like, sometimes shit happens, man. I get kind of tired of hearing MMA fan crybabies. Oh, you're supposed to make this. Man, listen, if you want a surety and you want shit to pan out perfectly every time, then go fucking watch the WWE, man. They plan all their shit out. You know what I'm saying? They got you all figured out over there. This is the real fucking deal here, man. Guys get hurt. Motherfuckers be trying to cut weight and their kidneys go out on them. Some real ass shit. But believe me, nobody's scared nobody. Everybody wants to get paid. Believe me, I'm sure that Khabib and Tony want that fight.
Oh yeah.
Khabib just got to get healthy. It is what it is, man.